Bonjour, everyone. Welcome back to the Eurobasket Women here in France. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Mark Clark. And first up today, very important classification round game between the Czech Republic and Italy, two teams that lost their quarterfinals less than 24 hours ago here in this very arena. One of the toughest things in tournament play for a team, for this situation rather, for Italy and the Czech Republic is to bounce back, come back and get over the disappointment of exiting the hunt for the medals. There's still something to be won. It's a spot at the FIBA World Championship for women. If Turkey finish in the top 5, the top 6 teams will indeed go to the FIBA World Championship for women in Turkey next year, since Turkey already have a place secured. Mark, for the longest time, we believe that this Italian team was going to beat Serbia and qualify directly. If you look at their team, they were really impressive yesterday at times for probably 38 minutes.
Well, they led the game for 38 minutes. They controlled it for 38 minutes. They were in complete control of the game, but they were always under pressure. And I think that's going to be harder for this Italian roster to come back because they were that close. I think the Czech Republic performed well yesterday, but probably went into that game with a little bit of hope more than expectation. I think the half-time and the three-quarter time, this Italian team thought they could win, and emotionally it was hard. We saw the reaction from the players yesterday. Incredibly hard to come back, but as you said, the incentive of a World Championship place should be enough to get everybody focused.
Well, Italy were in tears yesterday after the game, and apparently all night, because they saw their hopes of the medal. But I think, you know, when they look back on this tournament, they'll look back and realize that they've had a good run, even if they don't make it.
Et présentation officielle des deux
They
équipes
weren't
pour
here
ce
2
match
years
de
ago. They had the
classement en
failure of not
commençant
even
par la
making the final
présentation de
stage.
l'Italie.
Ladies and
They
gentlemen,
put
it's
together a
time to
series of
begin
results that makes them
players.
a
Let's begin with
contender
Italy.
going forward. The age of the
Number
team is 1 or 2 experienced players that are coming to the end,
Number
but
5,
with people like this young lady coming out, Dotto at 20 years old, the future of this Italian national team is in very, very good hands.
Well, remembering what happened against Serbia, they led by as many as 8 points, and Serbia's defense really just
number 30,
Benedetta Bagna.
number 40,
they were able to cope with the pressure in the first half. The second, especially in the fourth quarter, they were unable to.
Roberto
As for the Czech
Riccini,
Republic,
Giovanni
they
Biocesi
lost
et
out
Raffaele
the first game,
Imbrogno.
top of the list.
Présentation officielle de la
Stayed
République
with the
tchèque.
team.
And now
They lost
for
it to a torn knee ligaments.
number 5,
The team has kind of regrouped and fast on, and their main aim coming into this event was to get to the FIBA World Championship for women. They won the silver medal when they hosted that tournament in 2010, and their players still have the experience that getting to the
number
podium in
12,
front of the
Teresa
home crowd.
Joranova.
That
number
experience is
14,
invaluable.
Kulishova.
number 40,
Teresa Peskova.
and number 15.
Katerina
Well, I
Indrakova.
think Dubov
Terrific coaches.
just really quickly before the match left, he's done one of the best coaching jobs, just dealing with the loss of a star player and getting other players to step into role. He's just done a phenomenal coaching job.
They really pushed Spain hard yesterday.
Ladies and
In the third
gentlemen,
quarter,
this
it looked
day
like it
for
could
the
have gone
national
either way.
anthem.
Mesdames, Messieurs, l'hymne national de l'Italie.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national
for a
anthem
decisive
of
win
Italy.
in the second half.
messieurs, l'hymne national de la République tchèque.
And now the national anthem of Czech Republic.
Match à tous et à toutes et n'hésitez pas à prendre parti, soit pour l'Italie, soit pour la République tchèque.
At the competitions like this, the teams always meet at mid-court in a spirit of friendship. And hopefully the game will be played with good sportsmanship. The referees, the third team here, as I think we appropriately put it, Serbia, Montenegro, and Georgia. Visit Jokic and the Tyson.
Jeff, the issue yesterday with these two players in particular, Barcelona struggled to control things at times against Spain. Got a lot of help from Barcelona. Satana, the issue is, can she come back and shoot the ball like she did yesterday? It says there on the caption, 50% from the three-point line. She was absolutely phenomenal yesterday. And she likes the big games. This is an opportunity for her to lead her country into the World Championship. So I think mentally for her it's going to be really, as she goes, I think Italy goes today. But
it was certainly the best that they played in this tournament yesterday for much of the game. Shinili, Rest, Zanoni, Gatti, and Satana. Rest was terrific really for the entire game, but just had a questionable decision at the end of the game that, you know, it's really brutal on her, but she had a chance to go and attack the basket and pass it out for a three-pointer that Gatti missed. And Serbia went down and scored to take the lead, and then Rest missed a couple of free throws. But Roberto Ricchini obviously keeps faith with all of his players, and Rest will be an important player, not only in this game and, you know, the other games that are coming up, but next year and the years beyond. For the Czech Republic, Kulichova has been a steadying influence with Vesela's injury. El Hoteva looked like she kind of snapped out of it a little bit yesterday against Spain. And Brgova, maybe they need to get a little bit more out of Brgova in this tournament.
Well, they've gone big. They've often used the Kulichova-Brgova combo on the inside, but they've very rarely started with it. And the good thing, I think, is that I was going to say about the Italian lineup, maybe they underused Zanoni yesterday in terms of their ability to break the defense down at key moments. And the Czechs have, I think, in the scout, recognized that. He's gone with his quick lineup for the 2 and the 3. So with Helitova and Hindrikov, there's a lot of points potential there. But it's a little bit quicker than Kristova, and I think that's a recognition of how quick the Italians can be in those 1, 2, and 3 spots.
Well, Italy came really close to getting to the FIBA World Championship for women in 2009. They actually played in the 5th place game, and they were up against Greece by double digits in the second half, but they weren't able to close the deal. And it just goes to show how small that line is, or that margin for error. I mean, you know, and what it does to programs, because had they qualified, obviously, you know, they're bringing much more attention to basketball and everything else. And as it is, they're fighting for respectability again. And I think they've got it from their performance here in France.
Oh, I think they've given themselves a really good platform with a number of players that are going to be around for a while. They've given themselves a platform to build a program now. Maybe that'll reignite the Italian league. And there's one of the most important faces of Czech Republic basketball over the years. And I think it's a great testament to this group, the way they've responded to Vesela being out in the end. But Helitova got going yesterday, and if she gets going again today, it could be a real shootout with her and Satano and any of the Italians on the perimeter. So I expect this. The tempo's important here. If the Czech Republic stay with a little bit of faith that they can run, they can be a handful. Hindrikova in transition can score. And with the two bigs, they should be able to control the glass. For Italy, they can't give up 19 offensive rebounds again. And even though the Czech Republic are one of the lower-ranked teams on the offensive boards, they're going to see that, and that may be another factor of going with this big lineup. Get on the glass and give the Italians a problem.
Kulachova will jump against Brest. Remember, the aim is victory because if Turkey were to beat Belarus, the winner of this game would qualify for the FIBA World Championship for women.
That's a good decision by Bortolova. Go inside and be the aggressor. Get it inside, make the defense guard the bigs, and good to see Kuliachova getting a look early. Sometimes they look away from it too much. They should give her as many touches early as they can.
Andrikov out to Bortolova for three. Count it! Good start from the veteran guard who came back to the team after taking off last year. Have the baby.
I'm not sure if the passive zone is a great decision by the Italians off the bat.
Chanilli on the baseline. Picks up where she left off yesterday. She was shooting the ball well. Over to Bergrova, and she gets in far too easily and scores with the left hand. The pass ahead to Chanilli. Gatti. Zanoni. And overpasses, really. Nowhere to go. Now the Czechs look to build on their lead. Bergova from just beyond the free throw line shoots an air ball. And a foul on the Czech Republic, boxing out on Kulachova.
They'll be disappointed with a foul, but the fact that she went hard to the glass, and was, it's an emphasis that obviously going to have to talk about getting on the glass. And she went hard, so okay, apart from the foul, but the intent is there, and I think that's a good sign for the Czech Republic at the moment. They've come out much more aggressive than the Italians.
Rest, instead of attacking the basket, settles for the jump shot. Fouled on the perimeter by Zanoni.
Well, the early signs for Italy are a little bit worrying here because there's no pressure, but then Zanoni just reaches in a weak position. And the Czechs are the team that look like they've got more aggression and intent about what they're doing.
Elhotova for three. Well, I think the move to Orshi has been good for her because she has shown signs of her former shooting self and overall playing. She's done well. Did well against Spain. Now, Brest gets the ball inside. And she misses.
Didn't go past Kuliachova. Tried to go over, and she's so long, and she was really smart. Didn't foul. Just was literally played her height.
Another foul called on Italy, and I think Rahimi might need to get a timeout. Third foul. The Czechs on top 8-2, and Bagnara is going to come in for Zanoni. Early substitution. You see in the right corner there. Bortolova looks like she's got a lot of energy. Kulachova, and had the wide open shot and just missed it, but Bergrova was there for the ball.
Again, they're going aggressive to the glass, and I don't like the sign. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's almost get the timeout and ask these players, why are they in this tempo? He's having it now, so he has to call it. He has to call it because they've come out soft, they've come out flat. If they don't pick themselves up soon, they could be in too deep a hole.
He's having to dig deep. He's trying to get his team fired up. And the emotion that they put into that game against Serbia only to come up short. Whereas with the Czechs, I didn't sense the huge disappointment after the game for the Czechs after they lost to Spain. And I felt like they had a real opportunity there to do something special. And, you know, they've come out. They're still on track to get to the FIBA World Championship for women. They've got more experience in their squad. Somebody's got to stand up for Italy.
I think the thing with the Czech Republic, there was hope, not expectation. I think Italy got themselves into a position where they felt they should have won, whereas the Czechs were maybe a little bit too happy with being respectable almost.
Well, Hotova gets in, soft jumper, nope. And Satana with the rebound. This is the player that really you would think needs to get on track for Italy. He passes to Ress, and this time, because Ress doesn't look, she hasn't looked herself since that really horrible last minute for her yesterday.
She was so good yesterday until, you know, maybe the decision and then their free throws. But she wasn't going over someone of the size of Kuliachova, you know, the 198 that she is, and it's a tough ask unless you can go past her. And I think Ress has got the quickness and she's got the footwork to do it. She's just been not as aggressive as she needs to be, not as, the step isn't quick, it's just trying to create space, and it's a tough shot. And it just underlines how good I think Kuliachova's playing again.
Meanwhile, how valuable is Bortolova? With Morkova not playing now, with Vitechkova, she's really come in and brought some experience and seems to have a real idea of how she can help this team. Dato on the baseline. The 20-year-old comes out and immediately contributes.
Well, just fearless. You know, the age doesn't care. And she should be able to bounce back a bit quicker. This is still a great opportunity for her, and she's always responded so far, and she comes up with a steal.
Well, the hands were from Rest, but it almost looked like Kuliachova just fumbled the ball. So a chance for Italy. Satana, bounce pass to Rest. That's clearly the aim, is to get Rest going. And you really have to respect the all-round offensive game of Satana. And she's not selfish at all. Fight for the board, that height for the Czech Republic, a problem for the Italians.
Well, and Hindrikova just, no one put a body on it, just was a bit quicker, a bit more active.
Bergrova at the line. I wonder if that's the shot that Lubor Blažek wants. Up ahead to Chinili. And she misses, kind of falling away, and just white shirts under for the rebound.
You want to see Bergrova not take that foul line jump, but she started really well in the block. Beautiful little fake, got to the basket. You want them throw it in low post, see what they get from trying to get it inside.
Hotova, that's a shooter's roll right there. Hits the front of the rim, glances off the backboard, and falls in. So Italy had the fast start against Serbia, but now they're playing from behind. 5 on the shot clock. Dato hands it off to Ress, and the Italian guard's doing a good job of feeding Catherine Ress.
I'm not quite sure if Veronica Bertolova agrees with this call.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You got a little bit of hand there.
Got a little bit of everything, I think.
And also, if you're swinging down on the ball like that, the referee sees the arm swipe down.
Yeah. And the referee it was absolutely the right call.
Ress really frustrated right now. You can see that she feels like she let the team down yesterday, and she's got to put that out of her mind. It happens in basketball. You've got to learn to forget about things. Turn the page. She comes out. Mika comes in for 14. Mika is one of the promising youngsters, also just 20 years of age. She measures 1.89 meters. Indrakova misses. And a fight for the board, and the rebound's already a problem for the Italians.
Well, they've got to start boxing out. They're jumping at the moment, and they're jumping against the size. And the team is just going harder to the glass at the moment. It's a great pass.
So 5 offensive rebounds for the Czechs, and they get points. And that's what happens when you give away those rebounds.
That's a worrying sign for the Italians, because Hindrikova, once she gets going, is literally has unmissable games.
Well, Dotto's giving the Italians hope. Kulichova picks up her dribble, hands it off to Bortolova. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Really would rather than see the ball fed into that low post to Bergrova. They've got to start putting more pressure on the perimeter.
Yeah, this is not the same defensive intensity that Italy are going to have to bring. And Satana hasn't got herself going. She's done a nice job distributing the ball, but yesterday she was so aggressive coming off screens to shoot the ball. Now she's not getting those looks.
She pulls up there, no good, and only Czech rebounds. Hindrikova gets in and draws the foul, Satana.
Well, this is very much the Czech Republic tempo that they had in some of the group games coming in here, where they really did look to push the tempo. They controlled the glass, which gave them a foundation to push, and then Hindrikova, as she did there, gets out of the break, scores, or gets fouled.
Well, right now, they're out-rebounding Italy 10-2. And if that keeps up, it's going to be a short game. Italy have got to do something on the boards.
You could just got to look to the bench, look to someone to come in and just get a little more physical. Because at the moment, they're just being outworked. And on the physicality front, they're just not competing. So, you know, great move for him to bring in the veteran, Masciadri. At least you would think she would try and stand up and show some leadership here and start putting some bodies on people on the glass.
Dotto to Masciadri. Man-to-man defense by the Czechs. Dotto gets in and goes amongst the trees and had the shot, but just missed the layup. Czechov was really important yesterday for the Czechs when they made their run to get back into the game against Spain. So she's now going to try to post up inside and misses the layup.
Yeah, poor shot. Great post up, poor shot. But again, the intent, Czech Republic throwing it inside at every opportunity.
Masciadri tries to go past Hindrikova. Dotto gets it back and a foul on Elhotova.
Apart from 1 or 2 occasions when you've seen Dotto break the defense down, the Czech Republic's defense is very, very good at the moment. The way they've contained penetration, got the ball to areas where they can really assert defensively and cut down the pass options coming out off the dribble. It's just solid man-to-man defense, really well executed. It starts with very, very solid pressure on the ball. It's not quick, not overly quick anyway.
You know that Lubor Blazek wants to go big as long as possible, so after a short breather for Kulichova, she comes back into the game for Bergova. Italy looking as if that defeat really is going to be difficult to get over from yesterday, because they've gone from terrific game to really, their levels dropped substantially. Formica. But the game is 40 minutes long, and maybe they can rediscover that touch. Masciadri for a long jumper.
A little bit extension on defense. I was just about to say they could get up the floor and try and get Czech Republic out of the rhythm they're in, but it's just still a bit soft.
Yeah, it's not like it was yesterday against Serbia, especially in that first half. Bortolova tries to spot Kulichova. Now it's going to be awkward. Pekova has to turn and shoot, and off the rim, and Bagnara with the rebound. So not a good offense that time from the Czechs.
And for the first time, there were bodies on the glass. Formica did a really nice job boxing out, kept her off the glass.
And Dotto gets the rebound. Hasina fouled by Bortolova, and Bortolova reaches over and helps her up. Need for that foul from Bortolova as well. That's called getting your defender off her feet. Didn't take much of a pump fake though. Oh, nice bounce pass inside to Formica. Well, these guards are making some nice entry passes.
Well, since Masciadri's come in the game, they've just stepped up a little bit. She made the jump shot, and she's done a good job here in containing the dribble.
Yep, more pressure on the perimeter like we were talking about. Bortolova over to Elhotova from the corner. Good, but that was a 2. She looks like she's back to me.
Well, that's as close as she's looked to 2 years ago. There was people all over there, and she still got it away.
Masciadri gets it inside and has to bring it back out, and double dribbles.
It's just Kuliachova again, and with a little bit of help from Kristova, but daunting prospect going over 198.
Bortolova comes out for a breather as Ricchini thinks about his plan.
The Italians should go right up the floor on Bartanova, see what sort of game. She's inconsistent, she's very good, or she can start to make some poor decisions, and then she goes away from the ball like she is at the moment and leaves it to Petkova.
Well, the final minute here of the opening quarter that's been dominated really by the Czechs. And they're going to try to get that last shot. Now Kulichova goes up. Good. And Masciadri over to Dato. She has to put it up quickly and doesn't get it up in time. So the Czech Republic, great start for them as they go after a win that could end up, by the end of the day, getting them into the FIBA World Championship for women.
Well, he just got a shot as Helatova sat down, and her from the perimeter, and the inside options that the Czech Republic have manufactured leads you to those stats where they've shot well on the two-point line, but 66% from the three-point line. And the amazing stat for me after yesterday, the Italians haven't taken a 3.
Yeah.
And that just almost underlines that they haven't come out and put their game on the floor. They're just trying to win this, beating the Czechs, playing the Czech game. And the rebound numbers are just horrible.
Why do you think it's so important for Ricchini to establish the interior game with rest?
Well, I think it just gives them the balance. That inside-outside stuff they got yesterday, you've got shooters coming on to the pass.
Yeah.
And therefore in rhythm and getting the ball in. So they've never gone in and out. They've gone in a couple of times and it hasn't come back out. Or they've had to try and beat them on the dribble. Now you can credit the Czechs for making sure they're not giving the open 3. But hey, Serbia were all over them yesterday defensively. So they did set good screens, they did execute, and they made open shots. They've just not been that quick, that aggressive, that sharp. And you can almost understand it. They haven't lost the game 24-13 in this first period. They haven't put themselves in too big a hole. So you would hope that with some defensive intensity, some of the younger guys coming in, they might get into that sort of tempo again. But to not shoot a 3 after the way they shot the ball yesterday, the Czechs are good, but they haven't taken them out of the game that much. I mean, you said quite rightly, this Italian, yes, we've got some great pass options. I haven't seen it go to the 2-guard spot or the small forward spot and come back to receive the ball, to shoot the ball. She's either had the ball or she's been on the bench.
Well, second quarter action getting underway. Hendrikova had 4 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, so she was very active. And Elhotova led the Czechs in scoring with 7 first quarter points. So that's a very positive development for that national team. Masciadri, she must have heard you talking, but got nothing but air. And the ball goes back over to the Czech Republic, who have an 11-point lead, their largest of the game.
The Italians up the floor, you'd like to see them try and force Bartanova to make decisions and not just be allowed to get it into the half court. They should go after her hard here as well on the screens.
Over to Elhotova, and she's got now 10 points. That was a 3-pointer, and that's a nightmare scenario for Italy if she gets going. And surely she's not a player that you can allow just to leave open and that wide open.
Well, they just rotated away from her and just left her. The only player open was Halatova. That's just poor in terms of recognition of who's where.
Dotto drives in, and the follow from Formica. Well, Italy better wake up now, or this thing's going to be over. They're down 12. Hotova drives in. She's feeling it now. She is feeling it. 5 of 7. Usually you see her scoring out on the perimeter, and when you see her going to the basket like that, you know that you've got problems. And Italy have allowed her to just kind of find her rhythm. Cena misses. No rebound for Italy.
The on-ball defense by the Czech Republic, they really are keeping the Italians in front of them, making every pass a tough one.
Kulichova drives in. And I think it's fair to say that the Czechs are looking for that early knockout punch.
Well, they're not far off it either, and they're gonna bang it inside. It's either got to change the game.
Banyara for 3. Well, that couldn't have come at a better time for Italy. That's what she's done throughout this tournament. Put in some 3 balls. And the pass off the hands of Kulichova. So needless turnover.
Well, they made the Kulichova slip the screen, but never really went for the ball. They just lobbed it out, and there was already 3 Italian defenders in there while there was still a wide open person in the player in the corner. I just don't like the way the Italians are very passive defensively. They can go to the zone if they want, they can do whatever, but it doesn't really matter the type of defense. You just got to play it harder than this.
Just 4 points, the team high for Dotto. Satana, a couple of rebounds. They're being out-rebounded 13-7 at this point. 12 points in the paint for the Czech Republic. And El Hotova has those 12 points, a game high.
If you are struggling offensively, one of the things you can do is change your defense. I'd like to see them go up the floor, maybe man-to-man, but fall back into the zone. If they can put something like that on the floor, they've got the chance to rebound and get some easy points. At the moment, they're just not getting easy points. Everything they're having to work for. And again, I know we mentioned it before the game, but you just got to give so much credit to Lubo Blazek in terms of the way he's got this team into this situation with all the problems they've had. And there's a transition period, and he's still going to be in the world. He's in transition in the World Championship. That's a credit to him.
Yeah, you know, so much has been made of Spain's team bringing in the youngsters and mixing them with the veterans. It's the same kind of thing with the Czechs as well. I mean, they've had to gradually get away from those iconic figures of Czech basketball. I don't think we've seen the last of Vitechkova, but she needed a break. And, you know, it's given the opportunities for others to step up, and some of those other players look like they're taking advantage. Satana gets in, drives, and just it's not working for the Azzurri.
But even though they got the penetration, they still had to shoot the ball over someone. It was, again, the rotation, the way that this defense is constructed. The help's good, the pressure's good. It's a tough ask.
Well, Italy in a zone, and Bartonova has her shot. I thought she had it blocked. And Roberto Racchini was saying that she traveled. He's arguing with the referee.
She looked like she traveled, but it was quick. I mean, I think it underlines the Czech performance as well at the moment. She's off balance, fires it up, and gets the drop.
Satana gets in, kind of forces it up and draws the foul from Pekova, but nothing coming easy for Italy. So Burgoza comes into the game. Kulichova comes out, and you can see the defense is there. Can't really falter. Satana does have the ability to catch fire in a game and carry Italy and really you know, I'm sure that's what Rikini is counting on, and she kind of didn't really show up at this event really till the third game.
Well, nothing better than to get your rhythm going if you haven't managed to get open off screens is to get to the free throw line, make a couple of shots, get the feel back. You would just love to see her come off open or off penetration and a kick to her. They've got to try and find her to get her in. There's the change of the defense a little bit. Extending that zone, then they have to match up.
Well, Pekova, she hit the threes yesterday against Spain, but misses her first here against Italy. Bartonova over to Elhotova. Now Bartonova for three. And I think if you're Italy, you'll settle for that.
Well, definitely from the corner and definitely against the zone, and they got a chance to run.
Well, Masiadri for three. Good! Now that's more like it for the Azzurri.
Straight out the defense. They got the defensive rebound, got numbers down the floor quickly, well balanced, nice spacing. And they were in rhythm on that one. Maybe the zone is the answer if they keep the pressure on the board and know where the shooters are.
Well, Pekova, in fact, has missed a couple of threes. So it's not working for her, and she turns the ball over there. So it's back to a 10-point deficit. And there's movement over there on the Italian bench. People getting a little excited. And that's why with Satana hitting the jump shot, and the Czech lead has been whittled down to 8 points.
Well, they've managed to find the answer, definitely to break the rhythm. And the zone was very active. When the ball went to the corner, the last steal, tremendous rotation to go across into the passing lane to get the player going to the basket. But it does give the option to get out on the break, especially if you can leak out off the front of it. But again, Blazak sees a problem, reacts really quickly, and you know he's going to try and find an answer. And he's got the last time with Bartonova in the corner, that's the wrong people in the wrong spots. Get like a Hindrakova in the corner, get a Helitova in the corner, or even a Kristova who had a really good start to this tournament when Vasily went down. They can knock that baseline jump shot down for fun if the defense doesn't react.
Well, that last three-pointer has made Masiadri the leading scorer, but probably even more encouraging for Italy is the sight of Satana pulling up and hitting that jump shot. Here's another look at that. This is a player they desperately need to get it going if they're gonna win this game and stay in the hunt for a spot at the FIBA World Championship for women. And the Italians, you can see Satana very animated talking to her teammates. Well, 5 minutes, 25 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. And to Pekova, and she a little bit unlucky there, and great tenacity really from both players.
Well, even though they didn't come up with a rebound that time, earlier in the game, Brugova would have swept that and just gone back up. You know, there's a little bit more physicality. They've woken up. They're out of wherever they were. It's good signs for them going into the second part of this second quarter.
So Bortolova's going to come back in. Elhotova hits another three. Boy, 15 points for Elhotova.
And that was deep. There wasn't any thought there. I'm hoping I'm going to shoot it. They've got to know where she is. They've got to try and make her put it on the floor, especially against this zone.
Satana. And now the Czechs looking to go back up by 13, maybe 14 points. Surely they've got to give Elhotova a touch. Pekova follows, no good, and Masiadri, and the foul, the reach on Pekova. Well, do you not find it interesting or frustrating when you were coaching if a player would get hot and then she wouldn't touch the ball?
Yep. I think it's one of those things. It's like if the defense had made an adjustment and we're all over Helitova, you'd think, all right, well, they've stopped her getting it. She was wide open again. Didn't get a touch, didn't get a look even.
Rest sets the pick on Hindrakova. And Rest is a little bit frustrated. She needs to watch it. She doesn't pick up an offensive foul. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Satana pulls up, and that was a brick. Maybe trying to do a little too much, Satana. But then again, it was deep in the game, in the shot clock. Ilhotova, there she is. And Italy breathed a sigh of relief. Masciadri open for the three. Both teams now missing some jumpers.
As long as the Italians can keep it around the 10, 9, 8-point mark, they're right back in this at the half. They've stopped the problems that they had in getting any sort of rhythm, so they're right back in it now. They've just got to execute.
Pacina, the shooting guard, her shot no good. Now Bortolova. Italy still in the zone. Hendrikova, back to Bortolova for three. And the veteran. And that's a big one. That takes it back to 14 points.
Overhelp. Penetration hadn't beaten the defense. They dropped in and left a good shooter wide open. They've just got to trust themselves defensively, contain it whether they're in the man or the zone. When Helotova scored, they helped off her. They can't help that one pass away. It's a tough. You just got to work on the ball to contain it. Because one pass away, it's a shooting drill. And that much time, that much space.
Satana, open, good. And that time a little bit more composed, took her time, took a deep breath, and took the shot. And Hendrikova just lost the ball. She just didn't catch it. And that triggers the fast break from Italy over to Guarini. And back to Satana, good. And that's how quickly it can happen, a potential 5-6 point swing just because you can't hold on to the ball.
But then you've got to go down the other end and execute. And again, another shot where the one before, off the dribble, she pulls up, then she gets it in rhythm, takes it, knocks it down. Again, maybe Hendrikova fumbled it, but the defense was there. They were matched up. And now if she gets going, it's going to be a problem for the Czech Republic to break her out the rhythm in the same way they've let Helotova get going. Could be getting that shootout we talked about before the game. But you've got to give some credit here to Coach Rossini and his lineup because they were in a hole. They were down emotionally. He's changed his defense, and they've got things out of their defense, and they've run off it, and they've got shots in transition. So, you know, he was in a hole, made a decision. That's what he's paid to do. His players have responded. Now we've got a game on.
It's interesting that he also has Satana as his playmaker right now, and he's got both Dotto and Gatti on the bench, and he's brought in Bagnara, who's more of a three-point threat.
Well, it's almost as like he said to Santana, run the game for me. And she started to score now, but yesterday she got a lot of things at the 2 spot, and he got a lot out of Dotto yesterday, and he got a lot out of everybody, and most of her points came when she was at that off-guard spot.
Sometimes you just have to kind of tinker with the lineup, find that right mix of players. But clearly, Bortolova is crucial for this Czech team this year. She's come in and played well. And Hanasova now in for the Czechs. She started yesterday against Spain. Didn't impress. Well, Blazek with an opportunity to draw up a play. Elhotova. And again, another needless turnover from the Czechs. And Italy have an opportunity to get to within 7 or maybe 6. And Satana almost had an opportunity for a three-pointer, but it looks like the Czechs are well aware of her now. Oh, nice pass inside to Masciadri, who makes the layup. She just shot it right over Hendrikova. Hendrikova complaining that the Italians hit the ball. And the Italians are being warned about that. Well, it's a 7-point game. I think that last shot the Czechs hit was from Bortolova, wasn't it? The three-pointer.
Yeah, the three-pointer where they left her alone. Better job matching up.
Well, Hotova seems somewhat hesitant to take the shot now. Bortolova kicks it right, or passes right into the hands of Satana. And all the good work from the Czechs coming undone here at the end of the first half. And rebound by Guarini. Masiadzer is trying to draw the foul there in the three-point shot. She fell down, but the referee didn't blow the whistle. He wasn't baited into that call. Oh, the no-look pass to Ress off her hands and out of bounds. So now Italy, because the Czech defense extending out on the perimeter, trying to get some more shots inside.
She just had to wait for it because the cut by Ress dragged Brugova and Kuliachova. She'd have just waited a second. She'd have seen the open perimeter. It's well executed, this zone. They're really matching up quite well, forcing bad shots.
That was ugly. She was open. 7-point game in the final minute of the first half. Italy right back in it now. Guarini drives in and has to know better than that.
And the same thing, wide open on the perimeter was Fasina was wide open. And all the defense was drawn, inside, outside kick, crying out for it.
Well, that's inexperience, I think, from Guarini. 8 on the shot clock. Needs to rotate the ball, and up she goes in and draws the foul from Bartonova. Well, Italy attacking the basket.
You've got to question Bartonova as well. She's got Kuliachova coming over to challenge the shot, and she reaches.
Yeah.
And it's, again, it's those little decisions, and the Czechs had the Italians struggling. Now they've given them some easy looks, and the Italians have got going, and this is setting up a great second half.
Well, Gaia Guarini makes the first free throw, and really all the momentum right now with Italy having looked completely out of sync for really the first 13, 14 minutes of the game. It's a 5-point deficit. Elhotova out to Bartonova. 2-second differential on the game clock and shot clock. 7 on the shot clock. Hendrikova puts it up, no good, and they've left Italy with time. 6, 5, 4, 3. Guarini pulls up and misses the jumper. But Italy will settle, I think, for a 5-point deficit at the break. It looked like they were going to be run out of the gym. And they only trail by 5.
Well, we're going to get a look at the stats in a moment. I'm sure those rebound numbers are going to even out a little bit, and I can't believe the Italian turnovers were going to carry on being as bad as they were. And you've got to credit them. They've responded well. Work by the coaching staff to come up with the zone. It's well prepared. They match up in it really well. And even if they're giving open shots, they're starting to give people open shots. They don't mind the open foul line jump shot from Kuliachova and Brugova. So, you know, the rebound numbers are starting to even up a little bit. Only 8 offensive rebounds for the Czech Republic. They had most of those in the first quarter. And yeah, everything now is as we thought it would be. Back on track, tight game. It's too tight to call in for the second half now.
And it was interesting, the lineup for me that Ricchini had there at the end of the half. Fasina coming in. He's gone away from Zanoni and Cinilli, and as well as Dato and Gatti. And really, he's found a unit that seems to be doing well.
And that's the great thing about, you know, national team basketball. You've got a 12-player roster that you can find a way to use them. It's just knowing when to and when not to. And he seems to have found an answer that's going to help him. And it's definitely closed this up and set up a great second half.
Alors le principe, il est simple, le principe du jeu, c'est qu'il va falloir que les deux candidats miment exactement les mouvements d'Antoine Géard, et c'est le public à la fin, grâce aux applaudissements, qui choisira le vainqueur de ce contest basket freestyle. Donc applaudissements s'il vous plaît à Antoine Géard, Oscari, Terebe et Marco. Top music. Marco, fidèle supportrice de l'équipe de France. Can you make us well? 3, 2, 1, top, c'est parti. Et pour Roxa, 3, 2, 1, top, c'est parti. Pardon, mais désolé, mais on va applaudir TVL Oscar pour ce contest, c'est lui le vainqueur. Mais merci à Margot pour sa participation. Margot, qu'on va retrouver avec le club des supporters de l'équipe de France à l'occasion de ces quarts de finale de Eurobasket pour le 2013. Le petit cadeau plus. Antoine Gérard, c'est maintenant. Voilà pour Oscar, Marco, il se mariait, il a eu beaucoup d'enfants. Merci à tous les deux, merci Antoine Gérard, merci au public. Voilà pour ce jeu du mime Antoine Gérard. Tour final de l'Eurobasket 2013 organisé ici sur le site d'Orchy par la Ligue de basket du Nord-Pas-de-Calais aux côtés de la Fédération française de basketball sous l'égide de la FIBA Europe. On salue une nouvelle fois la Ligue d'Orchy, la région Nord-Pas-de-Calais, le Conseil général du Nord, on salue le ministère du Sport, de la jeunesse, de l'éducation populaire et de la vie associative, sans oublier le CNDS. On rappelle que cet événement est labellisé développement durable, le sport s'engage. Depuis la Pepel Arena, donc ouverture avec ce match de classement qui oppose l'Italie à la République tchèque, match de classement pour la 5e à la 8e place, 17h, 3e quart de finale de l'Eurobasket Women 2013 qui opposera la Turquie à la Biélorussie et à 20h, 4e et dernier quart de finale qui opposera la Suède Suède à l'équipe de France. Ah ben non. On va recommencer. 20h, match qui va opposer la Suède à l'équipe de France. Je préfère.
senza farci attaccare, spingere sulla 11, mano alta sempre, spingendo, perché forse la 11 è l'unico che passa il piano, lei prende gli scavi. Facciamo questo per non innescare aiuto, ok? Per non innescare aiuto, non dobbiamo innescare aiuto e l'unico sulla sua. Chiaro? Ok? Chiaro? Non abbiamo fretta di subito di recuperare.
Well, the Czech Republic enjoyed a rather substantial lead in this classification round game against Italy. They led by as many as 16 points. And yet, Italy have discovered their game again, and now with 20 minutes remaining, are down by just 5. How important is this opening sequence here in the first half, Mark?
Well, I tell you, I think for Italy, they won't win the game in the next 5-10 minutes like this third quarter, but they could lose it if they just take their foot off that accelerator that they got it on at the end of the second quarter. Trailing 5, if they do start flat, they could be down 15 again in a hurry. You got to hope that their zone, or if they go back to their man, it has the same intensity they brought yesterday. For the Czech Republic, I'll be amazed if Blazek didn't spend time in that locker room talking about how to deal with the zone and let's not play outside it. Let's get the ball inside and try and find the open shooter if we can't go up.
Well, Guarini rewarded for her good play at the end of the first half, still in the game. I think she brings some energy to the team right now. Mashatri as well, the veteran. Rest. Chinili has checked back in. 5 on the shot clock. And Guarini gets it inside. Missed a layup. And Bartonova now takes the ball the other way. So Italy had an opportunity. I'm not even sure that Guarini got off the bench yesterday. Have to check that. 4 on the shot clock. Not a good possession for the Czechs. And Guarini with her defense really helping out. And Bergrova just single-handedly, just that extra effort, chases the ball. Watch this. Does just enough. Throws it off of Chinili and he goes out of bounds.
They can't get outworked in the same way they got outworked at the beginning of the game, the Italians. They've just got to get bodies on bodies, box out, try and get some easy ones in transition.
Bartonova takes a quick jumper. She was open.
Surprised Bartonova started. I mean, I know Bartonova turned it over once or twice against the zone, but it's an interesting move to see Bartonova start.
Well, Rest goes inside, and her inside game is just nowhere to be found today.
No reason for it that time, Jeff, because she was only going over Petkova.
Well,
she could have easily got it away.
Shooting percentage is not very good. Hendrikova spins in the lane and hits the soft jumper.
She can be instant offense. Tough shot. She had to really manufacture it.
Well, Guarini registered a DNP yesterday, which means did not play against Serbia. So she has a little extra incentive to come out and show that she could have helped out. Satana floats in, no good, and suddenly Italy just looking as if they're a little bit lost.
Well, that just shows you, the DNP from yesterday shows you how deep Roccini had to go into his bench to find people who were going to bring some energy. And as you say, though, she's rewarded for it because she really was part of the reason they got back in the game.
Now Bergova spins in the lane off the front of the rim, and Ress had position. Now back to Satana, who thought about it. Offensive foul hold on Hendrikova or Bergova.
Now Hendrikova switched, so the only way really she could stop Ress getting the ball was to put all her body all over it to hold her and stop her actually getting position.
Satana for 3. I think that first half break came at the wrong time for Satana because she was in form, showing signs of taking over the game, and then she had to stop playing. Hendrikova, meanwhile, spins and gets her second straight bucket.
Yeah, it's that instant offense again. She's got ways to manufacture her own opening. But you've got to question again, this Italian defense has started really passively again.
Chinili from the right wing, from the right corner rather, no good. And Ilhotova slaps it out of bounds.
I am one of those people who just believes you can't play soft at the defensive end and then expect your offense to flow. You're just not in the rhythm of the game. And they're missing shots because they're not in the rhythm. It starts and really gets initiated at the defensive end.
Well, I think maybe it's the defense is why you see the change, Dato coming in for Satana. And the ball goes out of bounds, and Italy have just lost their rhythm completely on offense. Some of that probably has to do with the Czech defense.
But it's almost like a rerun of the first quarter at the moment, where they're really being dictated to by the Czechs at both ends of the floor.
So Hendrikova takes the seat, and Rostova comes back into the contest.
Well, 0 from 6 at the start of this quarter. So we said they couldn't win the game, but they might actually get in too deep a hole. They're on the verge of slipping into that deep hole.
Ilhotova, well, she was at halftime, game high 15 points. Italy needs some energy. They've got Guarini, but the other players have to pick it up. There's Guarini over to Dato on the baseline. And Ress fouls Bergrova.
Well, that makes them 0 for 7. And they're just dying at the moment on the floor. And how long are they going to wait before they change it? Because Either they have to get up the floor or they're going to have to change it, because at the moment, the Czechs are getting what they want, when they want, and how they want.
Well, there's a period, the third quarter against Turkey, when Italy scored just 2 points. I thought those days were well beyond them after yesterday, but they're in a funk right now. Rostova travels, but Italy have yet to score 4 minutes in. Remembering both of these teams lost quarterfinals yesterday, so not only did they have to, go out and compete for 40 minutes, but they had to they have to bounce back from the emotional letdown of that, especially Italy, who led for 33 minutes of that contest. Offensive foul called on Catherine Rest, and I just wonder maybe if she needs to sit down and Wabara come in for Italy, because it doesn't seem to be working for Catherine Rest.
And you mentioned towards the end of the first half that she was dicing with it a little bit offensively. She's getting frustrated, and she's got away with it until then, and she obviously moved. And unless they're going to post her up, they really should take her out.
Martinova at the line, and Guarini with another rebound. Wow. Oh, she almost turns it over. I think against Serbia that would have been a turnover the way they were playing, but Martinova unable to come down with it.
Well, Bortolova's going to come in. She's now coming in a situation where a team has the lead and momentum.
Good hands from the Czechs. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Bagnara is going to come back in for Italy. And Masiadri is in. So Bagnara comes in for Guarini. Ricchini's a little bit frustrated after yesterday, I think, and he's given the referee a piece of his mind. I don't know if it was something about the substitution he was trying to make. Dato pulls up at the line, kind of forces up an ugly shot. One of the Czech players got a hand in there. Now Bortolova. You feel like the Czechs right now have the opportunity to go back by a big margin. Drostova left open. And Masiadri looks up the floor. Masiadri into the lane, and nice play from Masiadri. The old adage, I think, you have to get it inside when you're struggling. And that's what Masiadri senses that she has to do, get to the free throw line.
And she did it off of a defensive stop, off the zone, and they've gone back to that zone, and they're going to try and run out of it. I'm not sure why they stayed in the man, didn't go back to the zone a bit sooner. But that's the way that the Czechs are struggling, when they put that zone on the floor, and if they can rebound out of it and run, they'll get some easy buckets, and they're only 8 down with this to come.
Well, Ress gets the rebound. So, and then Masiadri just inexplicably loses the ball. Fasina's going to come back in. She played very well at the end of the first half. So, frustrating sequence. 4 fouls on Catherine Ress.
And the last foul was poor. It was a long, long way from it. It was another frustration foul. And you're a little bit more, the experience should really keep her in the game. That's forced the hand in terms of taking her out. There's a long time to go with Ress only having 1 foul to give.
Since those, important fouls from Wabara yesterday, she hasn't played for Italy. She hasn't come into the game yet. She's another option to put down that low post. Pekova on the baseline, nope. Boy, her form has eluded her. I mean, it's gone away. Yesterday, she was really stroking that three-pointer. Fasina. She gets inside, hands it off to Formica. And that's just a bad shot.
Yeah, very poor shot. Chance for the Czechs to turn that into easy points.
And then Masiadri fouls Bortolova. So good aggressive play from Bortolova in Italy. They just seem to have no semblance of an idea offensively right now.
Well, it's a strange lineup in the game. Wabara had that sort of role of coming in and being the sort of backup, and she's not seeing the floor. You know, the game's pretty much on the line right now, and Satana's sitting down, so it's maybe they're hoping to, you know.
Well, she's going to come back in now.
I mean, the whole opportunity to qualify for the World Championships could disappear in the next 3 minutes.
Masiadri back out to Formica, who took that tough shot. She misses another one. I'm not sure that's plan A.
It can't be plan A going over Kuliachova. She makes you change the shot.
Bordelova for three. And Formica at least gets the rebound. Italy doing a little bit better job on the boards right now. Dotto gets in and fouled by Bordelova. How many is that on Bordelova? That's 3 on her.
See, Masciadri's shown, and they're Dotto on this, when they're aggressive and definite and they're trying to actually attack the basket, whether it be on the dribble or on the pass, that good things are happening. It's just not happening enough. But they, you know, they're still only 9 down, and they've had a really, really flat spell. So the game is there if they can get Satana going and pick their defense up.
Well, they got a break there. The ball bouncing out over Kulichova, who just kind of stood there, didn't lift her arms. So Facina with the rebound. Another opportunity for the Azzurri. And Bagnara steps in and knocks it down.
What's Helatova doing? Trying to block shots on the three-point line against a team that hasn't shot the ball well in a game and just really exposes the defense.
Drostova outside, spins, puts it up, and that was a good move from Drostova.
Czech seems to have forgotten, though, that Kuliachova or Brugova or whoever was in the inside, good things happen when they got touches in the first half. And they looked Kuliachova off every single part of their offense. She was down early, didn't get a look, then she posted, didn't get a look. Even if they give her a touch and then she kicks it straight back out, the defense is going to turn, it's going to create long closeouts, and they're just looking off the inside players at the moment. I just don't think, if something's working, why go away from it? There's no way the Italians have stopped it going in there. The Czechs have decided not to throw it into her.
We're back to a 9-point advantage, and Satana has come back into the game for Dotto. See if the time on the bench to reflect is going to bring a change in the fortunes of Satana. She gets the high screen, gets into the lane, puts up the jumper. Well, that's more like it from Satana.
Very patient. She waited till she got the mismatch on the switch and then decided, you know, got the shot she wanted to take over Kuliachova.
Kulichova now sets the pick for Elhotova. Cross court to Elhotova for wide open in the corner. And that is not what you can do if you're the Italians. She's got 18 points.
There's some short memories out there. As soon as they left her open, she knocks down a 3.
Masiadri for 3, good! Well, now the Italians starting to heat up. A couple of jumpers falling here. Well, Bortolova almost didn't catch that ball. She looked away. Pekova up top, over to Drostova. In the lane and bumped by Facina. So bonus time puts Drostova back at the line. Well, she's got blood on her right elbow. Drostova, as Facina walks over. Look at this. So she just bloodied her elbow with that fall. Because I didn't see the blood there as she got into the lane. I don't know if the referees can see it. It's like a floor burn.
The worrying, 2 back-to-back very good moves by Kristova, but the worrying thing for me, if you're a Czech fan, is the ball just hasn't touched the inside at all. Kuliachova now has stopped almost looking for the ball because she's getting that frustrated. She hasn't had a touch of it for a long, long time.
Masiadri penetrates. Good play from Drostova, having just provided a lift offensively. She does it defensively. And Bagnara checks her right as she crosses midcourt to slow her up. Now Formica. Here's Kulichova. Passes it back to Pekova. And the Italians dodge a bullet. Masiadri goes all the way in. And Formica gets the rebound and is fouled by Zhristova.
Well, you're right, they definitely dodged the bullet because the inside-outside option created the wide-open look for Petkova. And this is this transition period for someone like Petkova. She's had great games and bad games.
I'm surprised the referees haven't asked Zhristova to come out of the game. I mean, oh yeah, they have asked her now.
Yeah, she has to come out, yeah.
Her elbows really needs a bandage. Look at that. There you go. But she played like up and down the court for a few minutes there.
Should clean it up as well, not just tape it up. But going back to Petkova, she's had some games in this tournament. She's great. The next game, she's hot and cold a bit. So this is one of those cold games. And that's what it takes when you're becoming a player who's coming into an established role. You've got to be able to do it back-to-back. She'll learn how to do that.
Well, a couple of times, Vecina has snuck in there and gotten offensive rebounds off missed free throws. And it's almost as if Kulichova is kind of in a daze.
Big players, if they don't get touches of the ball, they lose. You see it so often. If the big player doesn't get touches, they lose the game because they're just running up and down and never getting a touch. They're not involved. They don't feel. You got to feed it, and if they don't get fed, they'll just lose it. And it's not an experienced thing. He's going to go to Brugova, and she'll have the same problem.
Okay, now check this, Mark. What do you think Italy are shooting at the free throw line?
Maybe about 50, 60%.
I mean, they have really struggled at the line. They're 8 of 15, 53%, so that makes it 9 of 16, 56%.
And the Czechs are 100%, I think, the last graphic we saw.
And remember yesterday, Serbia hit 28 free throws, 28 of 34. The free throw game is crucial. Pekova gets it on the low block, goes in, and just, how did she miss the shot that badly? I mean, that was wide open. Well, Italy have just been awful for the most part in this quarter, yet they're down by 7 points. Now the final 15 seconds of the third quarter with an opportunity with a three-pointer to get it to 4. Well, Satana goes right around Hendrikova and hits the 2. And it's back to that 5-point deficit that they had at halftime. So neither team really able to assert itself, but I think Italy can count themselves fortunate to still be in it.
Well, the way they started, definitely lucky to be in the game. I think that the Czech Republic had opportunities. And I'll go back to it. The big players have to touch the ball. If they don't touch it, you lose that advantage that the Czech Republic had earlier in the game. Here are the statistics. And
look at the free throws.
That underlines that free throw scenario you talked about, 100% against 56%. Everything else is starting to even up a little. The turnovers are pretty close. Everything's pretty close. And the free throws at the moment, missed free throws, are costing the Italians the chance to actually lead the game.
But, Pekova also missing a very makeable shot on that last possession down there. The ball goes out of bounds.
But, we're going to get, while we're looking at the highlights, it's Pekova yesterday, inside, outside, open jump shots, feet set, looked great. A lot of that open jump shot, inside, throw it in, get it out. You get the time to shoot it. The bigs haven't touched the ball, and it's not because of the Italian zone. The Italian zone is better, it matches up. But give them a touch, get them involved, and get them on the glass, because their offensive rebounding will get better, everything gets better.
Hi, Andy. Well, again, Czech Republic have led by 16 points. And Italy have had to chip away. It's kind of one of those mountains, isn't it? You have a mountain in front of you, and you have to climb that mountain, and you get close, and then you can't quite get to the top of the mountain. And that's kind of where Italy is right now. They were there at the end of the second quarter, although I suppose they were kind of making the comeback.
Interesting to see how they use Dotto here. Because Santana with the ball has been very effective. Be interesting to see if she slips to the 2-guard spot, whether they can find her and get her involved enough. It's good to see Brogova get a touch here.
Well, she goes right at Formica, and the 20-year-old holds her ground, and Brogova just missed the shot. Now Santana in the open floor. She pulls up her dribble, much better defensively from Bortolova and Hendrikova as well. Now Dotto has come in and has the ball batted away by Bortolova, who's very active. And Formica, how did she get? They really had to work for that one. Tough sequence for the Czechs. They really made Italy work, and Bortolova for the 3, no good. And Facina with the rebound. 3 points to deficit. Bartanova's going to come back in.
Well, Blazek's not giving Bortolova an opportunity there. One falls 3, she's straight out the game.
That's a short leash. I think defensively she's doing the job.
Yep.
Dotto, free throw line. And Formica bats it out. Santana, good! We've got a tie game.
How hard has Formica worked the last 2 plays? Offensive touch, offensive rebound, keeps it alive. Santana makes the 3, but Biggs working hard, getting touches, keeps them in the game.
Well, they've trailed by 16. It's a tie game. And as they say, it's game on. Pekova now for 3. Good, she answers. Well, maybe she just needed the game to be close.
Had her feet set, though, off of a nice penetration. That's what she's very good at.
Italy, surely they have to find Santana. She looks like she's in the flow. Bagnara. She gets in, and very tough shot. And she's gonna come out of the game for that.
Got to credit Hendrikova, though. She didn't help anybody. She just stayed with Santana, just stayed in the lane. Really discouraged the pass.
And Trostova just kind of loses control, but gets it back, guarded by Bagnara, and she goes right back at her and scores. And just like that, the Czech Republic have gone back in front by 5. That's how crucial that shot was from Pekova. Now Santana. Tough shot from Santana, and Italy need a timeout. Ricchini's going to take one. Hendrikova out to Bortolova. Pekova had the dagger. Now she goes inside, and she scores. Well, it's just bizarre. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And right now, what would you say, Dr. Jekyll?
Well, that was a definite Dr. Jekyll.
Oppure una la palla e le altre andiamo tutte lì. Dobbiamo giocare insieme, a ritmo insieme.
Mark, I think really the killer for Italy in that situation is Formica had been so active and done so well, and instead of remaining calm, Bagnara goes down and tries to force up a layup and just doesn't even come close. And the Czechs were able to go back down and score again.
Well, we've talked about this stuff a lot. In the situation like that, you want to go to the people or the shots or the types of things that have worked for you. So at no stage did they try and run it to Sartenta. At no stage did they try and post up. It was just one on however many. And maybe a bit of emotion, maybe a bit of out of control stuff back in the game. But you just got to go with what works for you and be patient enough to get the ball to where you want to try and get it. Don't let the defense take you out of what you want to run.
Well, Pekova hasn't been at her best, but she is now. And we'll see if rest with the 4 fouls can give something to Italy. She hasn't really been a positive factor today for the team. There she goes. And she just continues to struggle against Brogova and Kulichova. Italy in the zone. Pekova for 3. And long rebound out to Hendrikova, and Ress almost picked up her 5th foul. Bortolova for 3. It really is a case of that peck of a shot just seems to have changed the complexion of the game.
That's great recognition, though, because they had to switch, and Ress ended up guarding Bortolova. So good ball movement. They hit the open player. Exactly what we were talking about down the Italian end. Find the player who's got the advantage, who's got the opportunity to take a shot they want.
4 on the shot clock. They're going to have to take a tough one. Dato, good! Wow, that's creating something out of nothing right there.
That's so important. It could have got out of hand if she hadn't made that. Drags it back to 7.
Really looking to get something from their defense. Bortolova, having just hit the 3, penetrates and dumps it off to Pekova. And the free throw game has been won today by the Czech Republic, 10 of 10. Italy just 9 of 16. And as Italy look back at this tournament, the foul on Masiadri, they're going to know that the free throws were important.
When it's going your way, it definitely goes your way. That one had a look, didn't fancy dropping, and ended up got a friendly roll.
Back to a 9-point advantage. Now Ress. And again, forces it. She wants the call, and I think, well, Facina commits the foul, but I hate to say it, I just think Ress, she's had a brilliant tournament for the most part. But since that sequence yesterday against Serbia where she didn't go to the basket and passed out, she just hasn't been the same player.
And even on that move there where she had an open look, if she'd have really attacked it, there's no way Brugova would have recovered. But she just didn't go with the intent, with being positive.
5 minutes remaining. The Czechs closing in on victory, and Pekova with a 2. Just a completely different player. I guess that's why Blazek has stuck with her. Dato turns it over. Italy imploding. Hendrikova, the fast break. The lead now 13. Italy haven't scored since Pekova. Oh no, they have scored. They had the 1-3 from Dato.
But that 1-3 from Dato was at the end of a shot clock with people hanging on her arms. But the last 2 minutes just sums up. Since the Blazek timeout, Pekova's had shots, Bortolova's had shots on a mismatch. They've been patient, they've executed, and they've got shots they wanted. The last one from Pekova was a tough shot, but she's in the flow at the moment. Whereas down the other end, the Italians have gone 1-on-3, 1-on-2. They haven't found Satana, they haven't found anybody. And the only open look they had was Ress on the penetration, and she just didn't go at it hard enough. Just the difference between the two teams in trying to close out a game. The Czech Republic have been so smart and have got the ball to them where they have an advantage.
Well, Gatti has not played much at all today. Zanoni, she hasn't played much at all. Chinili hasn't played much. Brachini has, well, Zanoni is coming back in.
The Zanoni one really surprises me because yesterday on the dribble, she looked really smart. She could break you down, but she'd also make a good decision coming out of it. And what they've needed in the last 2-3 minutes are good decisions.
Well, really, they've had to expend so much energy to get back into the game, and the Czechs have just opened it back up to 13 points, and you wonder if Italy have enough time.
Well, with Satana on the floor, there's always time, there's always hope, but it's got to start happening now.
First foul in the quarter.
It's a smart foul again. She was disadvantaged. She had to foul because of the switch. And they're using the fouls really wisely. That's a good time to foul. Good decision to foul as well.
Dato feeds the low post, and Catherine Ress is going to take free throws. Clearly, the Czechs aren't going to give anything away.
She's got to finish that as well. It's not going over Brugova again. It's going over Pekova. You know, she's not going to get blocked. She's not going to get physically. She really is in a difficult place.
She takes a deep breath. Remember, I don't like to talk about the negative of Catherine Ress because she was so influential for Italy, but she did miss those 2 free throws as well yesterday in the final minute. She's trying to help her team down the stretch here. She made those 2. Hendrikova, and gets blocked. Good play from Ress, so good contributions on both ends from Ress with 4 fouls.
You got to question the decision to go that early. It's not open, that was the thing. If it had been open, fine. It wasn't open. That early with this lead in this situation.
And Dato drives in and draws a foul on either Bortolova or Bergrova. On, yeah, Bortolova. Free throw agony for Italy. 11 of 19, 57%.
Hendrikova, Jeff, is doing a marvelous job defensively. She's coming out now, but Satanta hasn't seen the ball. Satanta hasn't seen the ball because Hendrikova's just not helped. She's really denied her the ball. Elisova's got to do the same thing.
Italy trying to be disruptive with 4 minutes remaining and trailing by 10 points. Drostova, guarded by Zanoni. The switch. Now Ress comes up top. And Drostova goes in. And Zanoni with the rebound. And I think defensively, Zanoni in that situation is a better matchup against Drostova. So Italy a little bit bigger and Drostova not having her own way. Satana bumped by Elhotova.
Elhotova's got to play harder off the ball. She let Satana catch it too easily. And whereas Hendrikova literally stayed in the lane the whole time, made her work more away from the ball. And I don't think Elhotova has improved this year defensively. He's got the foot speed or presence to guard Satana in that situation.
Bortolova making Dato work just to get the inbounds pass. Dato down the lane, goes back outside to Masiadri, who passes up, gives it back to Dato, and Dato misses the layup but gets it back. Into the corner, Masiadri for 3. Dato with another rebound, another opportunity for Italy, but they've got to hit their shots. Masiadri, and bumped as she gets into the lane by Elhotova, so that's free throws. Well, it's not a bad scenario for Italy if they can make their free throws because it stops the clock, but they've got to make their free throws. It's just inexplicable, really. I mean, they're tired, maybe 12 of 21, but, you know, that's 9 points. They've kissed goodbye at the free throw line. And you might think, well, you're not going to make all your free throws, but you know what? The Czechs have made all their free throws.
Absolutely. And you mentioned earlier on the Serbians made most of theirs yesterday.
9 points. The Czechs would like this game to end now. Well, that's only 3 team fouls on Italy. Kulichova comes back in for Pekova. Well, the team that wins this game could qualify for the FIBA World Championship later today if Turkey were to win against Belarus. Masiadri reaches in, commits the foul. Watch.
It's just poor. The defensive problem was on the cut again. Very poor defenses. Bergrova just stepped in. Got to get in front of that and bump it. There's still more than enough time here if the Italians can get a stop.
Elhotova for 3. And the long rebound eludes Kulichova. Now Dato in transition goes up, forces it, and Kulichova hustles down the court to get the rebound. And
With the free throw situation's been bad enough, but the number of forced shots trying to go over the bigger recovering and helping Czech defender has really been an issue for the Italians. 29% from two-point range, and a large number of those is down to that.
Well, you can't stop that turnaround jumper from Drostova. With 2:09 remaining, the Czechs looking very good bets to win this game. Dato gets in. Well, you can't fault her for a hustle. That's for sure. Timeout on the floor, 2 minutes to go. Italy trailing by 9, and almost a little unfortunate not to get a foul call there.
Well, off the shot, like Ljubomir Blazek was absolutely furious at that situation. His team is in a situation where it can win, should win, and it lets Dotto get offensive rebounds. He wants to put this game away now. He doesn't want to give the Italians an opportunity for Satana to make a wide, really tough shot in the game, because that's what she wants to do. But I just can't believe the number of times that the Italians have gone in and have tried to score 1-on-2, 1-on-3 over the bigger recovering player, especially as they shot the ball so well yesterday. They haven't gone in, drawn, and kicked. They've tried to make the tough shot.
See the old Belarus coach here to watch the next game, Bujolski. Anyway, the final 2 minutes. The Czechs trying to deliver a dagger, trying to throw in a dagger here or maybe go inside. That's what I would do. And good hustle, good defense. Great play from Catherine Rest to beat the Czechs down the floor. Back to a 7-point game. Well, they're gonna have to get it across midcourt. And they get it over, plenty of time. Now into the hands of Bortalova. Time definitely the enemy now.
The Italians don't want to foul now. They're going to have to make sure it's a one shot and out.
Elhotova puts up a tough shot, and the rebound. Oh, good hustle from Elhotova to beat Satana, and Zanoni fouls Kulachova. Well, frustrating. The Italians worked hard that time defensively. They just could not collect the ball.
As we said, it had to be a one and out, and they just got outworked. But Kuliachova is not the best free throw shooter on this Czech Republic team. She can be a little bit suspect in terms of percentage on the tournament. Is way down there at like 40%.
So not a horrendous foul. Maybe that's the player they've got to go after here. She makes one of two. First two free throws of the day. So the Czechs miss a free throw. And they're on top by 8. Satana. And her pass to Ress. Somehow Ress was able to get the ball back. And the foul is called on Kulachova. And the scrap for the ball.
I'm sure we're going to get a look at it. I always get interested in that because there was lots of contact before they called the foul. So I'm not really sure what she did after, like from this point on, that was different. The whistle still hasn't gone until then.
He saw her yank her arm, her left arm.
But there was a lot of contact before that. Absolute must to make both here.
Yep. Or she misses to get the rebound. Yep, she made both, so remembering that offensive rebound and put back by Dotto looms large, and now the turnover. Well, this game isn't over, folks. Italy causing some problems.
It's just a two-shot game at the moment, two-possession game with the chance to hit the three.
Satana looks for some space. She drives in, gets contact, and no call. You don't want to foul this player, Bortolova, but they do. And Satana wanted the foul, but going up against Kulachova, you can understand why nothing was given, but tough call. Could have called it.
Definitely could have called it. It's a bit straightforward. I know that Satana was looking for contact, but if Kulachova is silly enough to have her hands forward, that's her problem. That's a foul.
Well, she's missed the free throw. The other thing was she left her feet, Kulachova.
Yeah.
And Bortolova makes just one of two. Still some time for Italy, but must score. Satana for three. That's an air ball. And the Czechs, it's like a heavyweight fight here, just kind of the game winding down. Both teams look exhausted. Dato for Italy, 30 seconds left. Dato takes it all the way and misses the layup. And that could be it. The Czechs get it across midcourt. And the Czechs now closing in on victory with 17 seconds to go. The Czechs looking very good bets to make it to the FIBA World Championship. Well, that's if Turkey beats Belarus. Kulachova gets it in the lane and the travel, but with a 72-65 lead, the Czechs have done just about enough to hold on. I think they made hard work of it here at the end, which is a bit worrying for Blazek. So to compound the disappointment for Italy, they've lost now to the Czech Republic. Masiatri makes the long one. It's a 4-point game. And Hendrikova's shot, no good, but the Czechs win it 72-68. And really, Italy, they just didn't have enough gas in the tank at the end, and the Czech Republic had just enough gas in the tank.
Well, that's a great performance by the Czechs because in the end, they just made better decisions. More than anything else, they made better decisions. They went inside enough. They could have done it a little more. They got, but I still can't say enough great things about the way Blazek and his staff have pulled together and got contributions out of people with that. When he arrived here in France, I don't think he expected to have Petkova in the game in the fourth quarter coming up with big plays. And he's made those people get comfortable in taking responsibility, so they've done a great job. We're going to get a look at the stats, and I'm sure that those free throws are just going to jump straight out of the page. But the Italians, when they look back on it, I hope they think how positively they've done in terms of progress that they've made. And some young players will make better decisions next time because decisions probably cost them this game, as well as the missed free throws.
Well, a tough way to go out for Italy, but on the day, without question, the better team won. The Czech Republic 72, Italy 68, and you can't stress enough the importance of free throws. We say it every game, and every game it seems to always be an important factor. The Czechs shooting 87%. They only missed a couple in the fourth quarter, and Italy just 15 of 24.
Because every other stat over the course of the game has pretty much evened itself out. The Italians even won the game on the offensive boards. They had more offensive boards. They just could not make free throws and didn't make shots close to the ring. Satana Ledin was scoring again, but Helatova is welcome back to Helatova. Just waited the whole tournament, but you know, she's picked the right game to come through with a performance. And Hendrikova, I know it's got 5 assists there, but her defense in the fourth quarter with Satana in terms of denial was a real factor in keeping her away from the ball.
And additionally, the production offensively from Zhrastova and also a couple of big defensive plays from her came at the right time. So the Czech Republic win it 72-68.